You ought to get on that. You ought to get on that HGH.
Yeah, that's what I need, some human growth hormones.
Dude,
Stem cells. Aren't stem cells a thing?
I've already tried all the stem cells. I've tried all that shit. I've ripped the ligaments from the bone.
I'm dead serious about it. Here's why I say that about HGH. When I tore my Achilles, the doctor was like, "Do you want HGH?" I'm like, "I like to party. Let's go."
Not GHB.
No. But he's like, I've been prescribing it for my patients, and he's like, I healed super fast, and was really, really young and strong for a little while. Yeah. You know, that stuff's a wonder drug if it's taken right. Yeah. You should look into it.
I will. I'll look into it.
Guys of our age,
I've tried all that shit.
I know you have.
Not men of a certain age.
Men
not
of a certain
real men
age.
of genius. Those are two completely different things.
Dude, I'll walk down the
Are we just going to start like with no intro or nothing?
Don't worry about it.
We're not fancy by any means.
Oh, shit.
I don't know how you do it on your podcast, but
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
I can hear
Like
you.
to say-
A lot of herb in the room.
Yeah, it's just it's your voice.
Yes.
Check. Okay. That's
Yeah. Are you okay now?
How now,
You probably
brown cow?
you've got some kind of.
I
gate
remember
on
when
it.
this place used to have a view.
Dude, I watched them build that building. I used to have a view.
Yeah, there used to be a great view. I used to
you-
see Third Coast and South Street Cafe.
Nashville looked a lot different when we moved here.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sun
did-
doesn't
when
get
did you
down to the
move
street
here?
as much anymore.
When did you move here?
September of 1990.
Wow.
What was Nashville like back then? I moved here in
It was
'99.
full of rednecks.
Did you pull your wagon up to?
I pulled my wagon uphill, going and coming. I didn't even have a mule. I had to pull it myself. I had to load it myself and pull it myself.
God. Welcome to Twangtown. I am David Tolliver,
I am Colt Mirsky.
Tall Brewski.
Today we have with us Tracy Lawrence.
Hello.
Thank you so much for coming in.
It's good to be here.
He is a legend.
In my own mind. That's not a Ronnie Millsap song.
Oh my gosh!
He couldn't
Right out of the gate.
Just throw 'em out there.
Let's go.
He can't see it. Wow.
Yeah.
What are you doing, man?
I'm getting ready to go out on tour tonight. We have the first leg of Riley Green this weekend, so
Yeah.
we're just kicking that off. We got 28 shows. We finish up in May out at Red Rocks in Denver.
Can I come to that show?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. That's one of my favorite places on
It's
this
such
earth.
a gorgeous place to play. It really is.
Going
What a
up.
beautiful, and the amenities out there are spectacular.
Yeah.
I've never been. I've always wanted to go.
Dude, it's a bucket list place. I've played a lot of places, and that's probably never will. But I've been backstage and walked up the tunnel where
That's pretty cool.
Saw where the Beatles have signed it, and Bob Dylan. It's just
Oh yeah, everybody's been there. Man.
Everybody's.
I
been there.
headlined it a couple of times in the '90s when I was really at the peak of my career, but it's been a long time since I
Well,
played
you're
it.
back. You're going back.
It's all good.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy you're going.
I'm happy you're happy. That's all that matters to me. As long as you're happy, David, everything else will work itself
I'm
out.
glad you're not the only one who feels that way.
Did y'all get that wheel from Big Earl?
That wheel's going to be your best friend here in about an
Is
hour.
it loaded?
Yeah. It's I don't know what it is or why it's there, but it comes out every
When I
show
see
at
a
the
wheel
end.
like that, I think of Big Earl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I've known you for
Couple of weeks.
yeah.
We just met outside.
I just been outside. I was panhandling, bumming for some change to get gas to go back to Arkansas.
I went downstairs to get some chips, and I look out the window, and he's just walking through the parking lot, just nimbly bimbly.
Oh yeah, I just
Yeah.
wander around.
Yeah.
I used to wander around on the road a lot, man. I used to just get me and Hal Ketchum. I remember just riding around with Hal Ketchum,
love
getting
Hal.
toe up in the middle of the day.
Dude, that dude used to scare me.
Hal was great, man.
He was. However,
was.
comma, we did a show. It was me. It was us and Lee and Hal Ketchum out in. We were.
So this was like before he passed away, like a few years ago.
Well, I hope it's before he passed
Well,
away.
I mean, but he kind of, I think he got dementia. And
No.
some things that were going on.
This was probably 2007, 2008, and we were in Wisconsin, like Milwaukee, I think. And I sit down at the bar, and Chad was sitting down beside. I mean, I didn't pay attention who was to my right, and I was just hungover. And I heard, "You all right?"
You must have been hurting.
I was like, man, I don't know. He said, you need to straighten the hell up.
Wow.
And I looked over, and it's Hal Ketchum. And I'm like,
You got a lot of room to talk, pal.
It was, but he
Exactly.
just kept that thing going the whole time.
Yeah.
And then he finally let me go a little bit.
Hal was a great guy, man. He and I hung out a lot together back in the day, man.
He was one of the nicest dudes. But he would tell us stories about his grandmother chasing him around back in the day with a cane and a gas mask on.
Wow.
Yeah, it was some weird shit.
So what was that big single he had?
Small Town Saturday Night.
Small Town Saturday Night. The next time you get a chance, you need to revisit that record because there's an extra lick right at the end of the song that absolutely wears me out. That why a producer let that go, and every time I hear that song, it's like, there it is.
There it is.
I think by now they'd fix that. It wears me out.
Hal probably wanted it in there.
No, they missed that. They were high.
Was it?
I know how.
Dude, he's a talented cat.
He
man.
really was a talented guy, and he had several big hits early on. But the last time I saw him, we were playing some big festival, and he was not in his right mind. And his band, I mean, he came over to my bus and we were visiting. He was in La La Land,
Yeah.
And his road manager couldn't get him to get off the bus, and they left him.
Left
And
him on your bus?
They left him. The bus left, and we had to go. It's like, I'm sorry, but we got another gig to get to. We're not going through town. It's one of those things out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And we had to leave him. But it's like, I can't. We got to go.
How did he get back to his bus?
I have no idea. Not my problem. He was at the festival. There's promoters and stuff there. Somebody took care of him. But his people got sick of him. It's like, we got to go. I know you're
That's
supposed
bad.
to sing, but
When
we're
you're-
leaving you right here.
When
They
you're the
did.
artist and your whole crew leaves you, that's not good,
Peace
man.
out. No. Now, I did get left one time.
Uh-oh.
Oh, boy.
Is that because you couldn't be found?
Well, because I was wore out. I done wore myself down to a nub. And I slept through bus call. The only thing I had with me was a shaving bag, a pair of shorts, no shoes, and a ball cap. I didn't even have a shirt.
Nice.
You got left by your own bus?
Oh, yeah. That was like early on, like 92. That's a long time ago. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. There's a whole lot of other story that goes with that. I have to tell you sometime.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, we got time, man.
No.
Sure.
I got to wait for a few more people to die.
That might be the best answer or reason why you can't tell a story. I gotta wait for a couple more people to die.
Oh, shit. I never got left. I was late one time for bus call.
That's the most impressive thing because it's easy when you're a duo. You can get left real easy because Chad can just carry all the weight, right?
No, he can't.
Wow. That shows you how
I'm just serious.
Wow. Thanks,
Well,
man.
let me tell you what. So the next show was like 8 hours away, and the bus left, and they were gone, and I made it. I talked my way into somebody taking me, and I got there, and I told every one of them, I don't give a damn what happens to you. If you get left, you better damn sure make the show. There are no excuses. I didn't have a wallet. I didn't have any money. I had nothing but a shaving bag. I brushed my teeth, though.
Find out who your friends are real quick.
Assholes.
Wow.
Wow.
That was a good try.
Yeah.
So, you were born in Texas.
I was.
Where in Texas?
Atlanta, Texas. Brooks Hospital. I was born in the same hospital as Ellen DeGeneres.
Really?
We
My claim to fame.
spoke
I
of
didn't
Ellen
know that.
DeGeneres yesterday.
Yeah.
On the podcast.
Just say her name one more time, she'll show up.
It's like Beetlejuice.
We had Jonathan
Just don't
Sheck.
say Kathy Griffin.
Or Rosie
Oh,
O'Donnell.
wow.
Ugh.
We had Jonathan Sheck on our podcast, and he was. I mean, he self admitted this. He's like, I was her beard back in the day.
No.
Because he would go to all the award shows with her.
Yeah.
He's like, we would leave. We'd have to say goodbye to her girlfriend, and I would go be on the red carpet with her, pretending. That's funny that
Before
Ellen came up
it was
twice.
cool to be gay.
Yeah.
No.
I-
It's true.
yeah. Classy.
It's so cool now.
So, who else is from Atlanta, Texas?
Nobody.
Rustin Kelly's dad.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, I didn't grow up there. My mom remarried when I was 4.
Yeah.
So I went to kindergarten through 12th grade in Foreman, Arkansas, a little southwest Arkansas. So I never went to school in Texas. But Foreman is located, it's the last little town in southwest Arkansas. It borders Texas to the south and Oklahoma to the west. So
Gotcha.
it's like the
And
last
that, therein lies your delusion for Arkansas athletics.
It is a delusion, and it's painful.
It's painful.
And I just keep holding on, holding on, holding on.
I thought y'all had us this year. I thought you had Kentucky, but
There was some bad coaching going on, bro. It's painful to be an Arkansas fan. And the most painful part of it is I have so many good friends in Louisiana, and I got to listen to that LSU shit.
Oh, no.
It's painful. And I got to listen to that crap every year.
we got to play them tonight.
Yeah.
One of my best friends growing up is the voice of the LSU Tigers now, Chris Blair from Hindman, Kentucky. Sure is.
It was so bad when we lost the boot that this past year that I had to wear an LSU cap around the house for a half a day.
Really?
It was painful. So painful.
That's got to hurt your
It
soul.
does. Well, it's like getting hit between the eyes with a hammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened to me this year. We went down to Florida to see my wife's aunt and her boyfriend, and he's a Oklahoma fan. His brother actually played there. I'm a Longhorn fan, born in Austin and all that. And Texas lost. He's like, handshake bet, loser has to wear the other team's cap. Man, I had to wear an Oklahoma hat for a day, and I'll tell you what, I can feel my
hurts,
soul
don't it?
leaving my body.
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't your head explode into flames?
You
It
know,
started to.
I've never been a cutter, but it would make me want to cut myself.
I lost fantasy football this year, and I have to caddy wearing one of the white caddy outfits for the winter to a date to be scheduled.
Oh, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all you have to do?
That's all I have to do.
Oh, that's not that bad.
It's going to be terrible.
If it was like pink or something, it'd be cooler.
I have to caddy for this asshole.
Who?
You don't know him.
Okay.
His name's Greg Allison. It's first year in the league. I won last year.
Yeah.
There was no penalties for anybody last year. But
Right.
this year, I'm
So you
screwed.
went from first to last?
First to last.
How quickly it happens. Yeah.
The salary cap, man, I mean, come on. So, Atlanta, Texas to Arkansas. Did you went to Arkansas? Did you go to Arkansas?
I went to Southern Arkansas University. I didn't
That's
go to
right.
Fayetteville.
I knew that.
Our mascot, we called the Mule Riders.
Really?
Because it was a ag-ri college, and it was a very rural school that was started a long time ago, and so the kids rode mules to school, thus they were named the Mule Riders.
I feel like you're
Okay.
spinning a yarn right now.
I'm telling the honest to God truth.
No, you sounds like you're tired. Back in the old days, Grandma.
Yes, when we walked uphill in the snow.
Well, it's fitting because you did ride your mule into town in Nashville, so.
You had to lope her along somehow. Sorry. I
love it.
They could have called them the Mule Lopers. That'd have been a better mascot picture, wouldn't it?
Oh. Yeah, let's go there.
I think I watched that movie one time.
Oh, my God.
So, wait, did you play music growing up?
You know, I started off in church and stuff.
Everybody did.
Everybody
I
did.
think
I mean,
everybody did.
I grew up, and my grandmother was Pentecostal, so when I spent a lot of time with my grandmother in the summers and school breaks and stuff, so I did that. But my family grew up Methodist. I went to Methodist church a lot.
Yeah.
But I remember singing Glenn Campbell and Charlie Pride songs when I was 3 or 4 years old. I remember Glenn Campbell Big Time Variety show on TV. I mean, I've been consumed with country my whole life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you decided that's what you wanted to do?
About 12.
About 12 years old.
That's when it's like I really started figuring out that I had a voice and I could sing, and really just where the dream just kind of took hold of me.
And what got you to Nashville? Were you playing it around and somebody saw you, or did you just come here just like, I'm going to do it?
Man, it was I started playing jamboree halls when I was about 14. There were 4 or 5 of them back home, and I started going to these places and getting up doing a couple songs with the band. Then I wound up with a band full of older guys, and I was late 16, almost 17. Started doing VFWs and all the crappy bars that I wasn't supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And then I went to college on a choir scholarship for a couple of years, and I had to get out of that. Long and short of it, I wound up moving to Louisiana for a couple of years prior to moving to Nashville. And playing kind of a circuit there, but I was always playing with older musicians, man. All guys that had jobs and families. And in '89, Whitley died, I think late spring of '89. But that same year, you had Garth Brooks, and Clint Black, and Travis Tritt, and Mark Chestnut, and Vince Gill, and all these guys came out. Music changed. Because I'd been playing crappy honky tonks and doing all my George Strait and Randy Travis stuff. Music was changing. And I realized then it's like I've got to go, and I tried to get the rest of the band to go, and they're like, you're wasting your time, all that stuff. So I made the decision that it was time for me to make a move, or I was just going to get stuck down there, So I packed up everything, came to Nashville in the fall of '90, and with no intentions of ever going back. I'd never been here before, and I was terrified, man. It was a very scary move.
So you came here by yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. What was your first job here?
Working at Portland, Tennessee, hanging metal siding on a big warehouse with this big giant Pollock. Don't remember his name, but he had to be 8 foot tall. He was like a Sasquatch, and he worked me like a dog. I think I worked there 2 or 3 weeks, and I told myself I did not come to Nashville to work construction.
Yeah.
So I started hanging out. Back then, there was a lot of little. There's a lot of little places where the songwriters and the musicians off the road would go hang out, kind of the hidden gems.
Yeah.
A place called Gabe's, the Broken Spoke, the Rose Room, all those old places. And so I just started going any place that I could, they'd let me get up on stage and sing.
Yeah.
I got a job at temporary service, so I could just work enough to pay bills. I met a drummer from back home that had a room to rent, so I wound up rooming and boarding at his house. And he actually was the guy that put my first band together when we got the record deal. But I wound up over in December of that year. I got invited over to a little supper club over in Daysville, Kentucky called Live at Alibis. And WBDR broadcast back into Nashville on Saturday night. And I was over there working the show, and some executives from Atlantic came to see somebody else and liked me better. And in January, I did a showcase of the Bluebird. Atlantic agreed to sign me, and in May of '91, I cut Sticks and Stones.
Are you
Wow.
7 months.
That's
brother.
rapid fire.
me?
7 months. And I never knocked on a door. I didn't go to one label. I didn't do any of that crap.
Yeah, but you paid your dues before that.
I've been playing a long time.
You played at VFW. You played a dance hall. You played the
I
dues.
played orchestrated brawls, man. I didn't have the chicken wire, but they needed chicken wire. They're the worst place I ever played. It was like this little biker bar that was in Texarkana, and I would play it on the weekends about once a month from 11 to 5 in the morning. It was awful. I saw
11 to 5 in the morning.
Yes, it was fucking awful. Excuse me.
No, it's fine.
Jesus, it was so bad. That's 11 to 4, because I remember driving back to Magnolia. I was going back to college, so I'd come back to college, and the sun would be hitting me right in the face coming back. It's like, oh my God.
What am I doing?
That's wanting to play bad.
Yeah, it is.
And you're talking about, I saw guys dragging girls by the hair of the head and beating each other up inside. People get cut with knives. It was rough.
Roadhouse style.
It was rough.
Roadhouse.
Yeah, Roadhouse.
And that's why I love you.
Roadhouse.
Family. That's actually the other thing we talked about with Jonathan. He did
We did
Roadhouse
talk
too.
about Roadhouse.
He was the guy in Roadhouse too. It's awesome.
There's a new Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal coming
Yeah,
out.
I know. I don't want it.
You don't want it?
I don't. Look here, man. Okay, there's certain movies that you just don't redo for me.
The Big Lebowski.
Blazing Saddles, Big Lebowski.
Blazing Saddles. They ain't never going to
never
redo that
remake
one.
that.
No. But Roadhouse, those ones, Predator, you just don't do it. You don't, like the original Predator with Arnold.
Predator 2 was pretty solid, though.
Well, it was all right. Danny Glover's not as strong as Arnold. He shouldn't have been able to beat up the Predator like that, even with one arm. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you see it right here. Anger for that right there.
I love really bad movies, and if I start one, I can't stop. It's just the worst movie that I have found is a movie called Rubber. Have you ever seen it?
I don't even. Is it a porn? Is it a porno film?
No, it's about a possessed tire
What?
that rolls around and kills people.
Stop it.
It's freaking awful. Look it up. Rubber. I mean, the script is amazing. It's got a plot to it. It'll roll around and it'll start shaking and people's heads will explode. It's awesome.
Wow.
I'm going home.
You have to, but you got to commit to it. You got to really pay attention. You got to commit to it because it's out there.
You know how I know that we spend a lot of time on a bus?
Crap like that.
They're always like, "How do you know so many movies?" I'm like, "Buddy, we
can only jerk
work
off
for
so
a couple
much."
hours a night." Yeah. we
Well, yeah, he's just serious. He means it. Yeah.
we spend about 7 hours a day just sitting on a bus waiting to play a show. You
Yeah.
know? And what do? I mean, you read. I didn't read. I started reading like 6 months ago. I couldn't read really. You know, I did. I actually started reading. But you just watch movies.
He don't read. It's audiobooks.
Yeah, totally audiobooks.
I mean, sometimes, you know, when it gets too hard, the words get too hard and they get mixed up in my head.
Supercalifragilistic.
See it in the
That's
head
right.
movies. Wow. So you got signed by Atlantic.
I did.
Sticks and Stones. God mighty. Sticks and Stones, Alibis.
You know, yesterday we were talking about hearing yourself for the first time because Jonathan Check was here and talking about the Thing You Do movie, you told your story. I'd be curious to know, what was your story first time you heard yourself on the radio?
You know, for me, I don't remember the first time I heard it on the radio, but it wasn't as special listening to it in the house. Hearing it in a car, that's when it was real special.
Yeah. It's
And
always more special in the car.
Because, I mean, at that age, my whole life I spent in my car. It's the only thing I had that was mine. You know, so, I mean, you're riding to and from work or going to the venue or whatever. But the coolest thing was I was going back home. So I think Sticks and Stones dropped in August. I don't know if I was going home for Thanksgiving or going home for Christmas or something. But I had gone through Shreveport. Shreveport's about an hour and a half away. It's on the south side of Atlanta, and Foreman, where I grew up, is on the north side. And KRMD was a radio station that I worked construction all through school so we always had KRMD on. And so I'd gone by the radio station, and they asked if, when I left and finished the interview, they asked if I wanted them to play something. I said, give me about 10 minutes. Let me get on the road and play Sticks and Stones for me.
Yeah.
So I'm heading back in toward Texas, and I literally had to pull off the side of the road and just sit there and freaking cry. That's overwhelming, man.
Well, it's one of those things that you work for your whole life.
Yeah.
That's the thing. When you're growing up, you're like, I want to hear me on the radio one day.
Yeah.
And when you think you've made it, you technically haven't for some people. When I heard it, I hadn't made it yet. But that's the one thing you work for so long, and
It
it's
just
a
sounds
justification. Yeah,
It sounds different on the radio.
the
There's
compression of it.
Just,
and
it's just got a different feel to it, man. To hear that for the first time, it was pretty cool.
and to know that there's a bunch of other people hearing it at the same time you are too. It's really cool.
Yes, it really was.
It makes me smile. I remember hearing your voice verse. 'Cause I have words. My tongue's real big right now.
It's just too fat. Yeah.
It's the traffic today got me.
You know, they can shave that down.
Shave. Tongue rejuvenation. Wow. Wow.
Cool sculpting.
So you got, when did you get shot? Was this before or after you heard your song?
It was actually when I got mugged. I had just finished the background vocals on Sticks and Stones, and I'd gone out to celebrate that night and got jumped in the parking lot over here. What used to be Shoney's, the hotel right on the Monroe.
Oh, yeah.
With a pistol, I opened the door with a pistol stuck in my head, and it went south from there.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you fought back.
I did.
You got him.
So you're like the 50 Cent of country music.
Boy, he got hit like 8 times. Yeah, I don't know how
You got shot, what, 4?
I got hit 4. Yeah,
Well,
that sucked.
I mean, it's not as cool.
Sucked.
Yeah, and it's the knee injury. I got shot through the left knee, through the joint, and I had it scoped 3 times. I had a total knee replacement in December of 16, and it's caused me a lot of leg issues and joint issues and stuff. I've had a lot of problems with it over the years.
I hear that's quite painful, getting shot in your knee.
It hurts.
Because on the movies, you see that.
It was so bad that so somebody came out of the hotel and kept me conscious because they shot my legs out from under me. And that when they emptied the pistols, I could hear the bullets bouncing off the pavement around my head.
Jeez.
And so a guy came out of the room, and I have no idea who he was, but he kept me conscious till the ambulance got there.
You don't know who that guy is to this day.
I do not.
Wow.
And they took me to Vanderbilt, and I remember. I mean, it's painful, but they morphine. You know, the thing that people don't understand about morphine doesn't stop the pain. It just makes you not care.
Yeah.
And it's like it was rough.
Yeah.
It hurt. Yeah.
I can't imagine, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die.
Me too.
Because I never would have met you.
I know.
We never would have shared a bunch of ground together.
I know.
Yeah, and hugs.
Yeah.
Yeah, side
huggy.
kisses, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Spoons. It gets lonely on the bus sometimes, man.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Mission possible.
Wow.
Where's he going with this?
What do you...
Concerned?
There's no agenda. He just likes making everybody feel uncomfortable.
I'd like to be uncomfortable. I remember hearing your voice the first time. I'm like, oh my God, that's awesome. And the reason I heard it is because my girlfriend at the time, her dad wrote a song on your record.
Oh. Wait for
Wayne Davis was his name.
April's Fool.
And April's Fool. Bernie Faulkner. Mm-hmm. And he had a little plaque on his wall when I would go in to pick her up. Yeah. And I was like, what's that? It's like, I
met a lot of girls named April that next year.
Oh, it's ridiculous. How many? No, you have. What do you have? Like of alibis? You had
I had 4 number ones.
Four
off
number
Alibis.
ones
I had
off
3
Alibis.
off Sticks and Stones in the top 5.
You know how ridiculous that is?
Yeah. Considering I rolled into town with nothing but I had $700 in my pocket and a beat up old car and didn't know nobody.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've not heard of anybody doing it any quicker than that.
I don't think they have. Minnie McCready,
I
maybe.
mean, managers. I mean, I didn't know nobody. I'd never even been here before.
Well, it's a testament to you, dude.
Doing
And-
all that in 7 months really is, considered, Nashville's known to be like a 10-year town. Doing that in 7 months, man, that's fast forward.
It's crazy.
It's a testament to your talent.
Well, I think it's a little bit of luck and timing too. I really believe that I positioned myself to come at the right time when there was a lot of things happening. The format was changing.
Yeah.
I was very, very focused. I mean, I'd go out and go to bars and listen to music, and I might have the money to buy a beer. I mean, I was broke. Yeah. I was so focused on just doing whatever I had to do and building relationships and meeting songwriters and musicians that I was just completely consumed by it, and that's all I thought about.
Well, one, you have a unique voice, great unique voice. 2, you had awesome, amazing songs, timeless songs.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, those 2 elements right there. I mean, that's
I remember
that's a big part.
When we went in and cut Sticks and Stones, we cut 10 songs, and that was it. I mean, we tracked James Stroud. I got hooked up with James Stroud through the managers and the label people that I met, and we started putting all the pieces together. But I was very involved in the song selection, and I really tried to find things. It was really strange. I really kind of went through my mind when I put Sticks and Stones together, and I'm like, what are my favorite George Strait songs and from this collection of the core people that I really dug? And I kind of tried to make an album of songs that were like my favorite things.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really know any other way to approach it.
Dude,
but I
that's
remember
great.
that being my thought process.
Now, with the whole Quantum Leap shit, was that you too?
It was.
That was your idea? Did you watch that show?
I did, but that wasn't really the spark that lit that whole concept. I really wanted to do video and miniseries form. But back then, that would have been, you would have had to predetermine every single off the album in advance. So when you went in, you shot all of them together.
Yeah.
That would be the only way to do it. And the labels were all in the research. They'd send the album out to this panel of people, and they'd give you burn factor and all this other stuff and everything. So you'd basically pick the first single, and then you'd get feedback for the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I still think this is a great idea. So how do I achieve what I'm trying to do by linking videos together? Time travel. And so that was where it started. It started off in Charlotte at the racetrack. We did a video for If the Good Die Young, and that was the very first one. And then that left it open-ended. So when that video ended, you could crash into the next thing, whatever the single was determined to be, and you could create a whole new scenario and land right in the middle. I was a pirate. I got to be a outlaw. I mean, I get it. It was just, you just got to bounce right into the next thing.
I didn't realize you were that smart.
I don't know.
That's
about
actually
that.
That's actually really cool and really innovative for back then.
no idea.
For back then.
Well, but that was serious. Nobody was doing that I can remember.
No, nobody did anything like that.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
That's great. I had no idea that's where it came from, and that was the purpose behind it. Wow.
So you weren't writing songs, I'm assuming, when you first started?
Yeah. That was one of the things that helped me get my deal. I had
Okay.
a song that I came with called Dancing to Sweet 17 that I wrote. And then I had another waltz that I wrote called Back to Back that I wrote with Elbert West, that guy that I'd met that I started writing with a lot. And Elbert was one of the co-writers of Sticks and Stones. He wrote that. Elbert West and Roger Dillon wrote that, and that's where I found that song. But yeah, I was writing a lot. I came to Nashville with a lot of songs.
Oh,
I
okay.
just sucked.
So you'd been working on writing even before then.
Yeah, but I wasn't playing original material in the band that I was with. I mean, we were just doing cover stuff. It was just, keeping people on the dance floor kind of thing.
Okay.
When did you meet Kenny Beard?
Early on, when I first got to town.
'Cause I know he was pretty big in your life.
Yeah, he was.
He's a talented dude, man.
It was. I met Kenny through some friends that I'd met, and he was also from back home. Actually, Ringo, Louisiana. That was one of the clubs that was on our regular rotation. There was, what's that place? Anyway, there was a big honky tonk there that we used to play, and it was just, that's KB's hometown. So
Yeah, man.
I just kind of fell in line with people that had similar backgrounds and came from similar areas.
It tends to make good music when you do that.
It does.
If you-
KB was such a great singer too.
Yeah, dude. I remember he was one of the first writes I ever had in town.
Do you want a spoon with you?
No. She made me chicken wings though.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I was scared to death. I was terrified.
I've got a funny Kenny Beard story. So he was producing Trace Atkins. I don't remember which album it was, but he came into my office and I was pitching him some songs. And one of my office was at the old Curb Writer's house. So I had this nice big office and I had this big brown leather couch that was super comfortable. And I was on one side of the room and he was on the other, and I'm playing him all my songs and I'm super excited to play, and so we're listening. He gets his head back on the couch and he's closing his eyes, to like take in the song and then do whatever he does when he's listening. And we get about 3 songs in. We get to the end of the 3rd song, and I just noticed he wasn't moving anymore. and the song ended, and there was no like pass or hold or keep or any of that. And so I was like, I don't know what to do. It's like I've never put anybody to sleep before. And so I guess the quietness finally woke him up, and he kind of snapped out of it. And he's like, okay, what else you got? So we played a few more. And, yeah.
He was definitely one of a kind.
Yeah, a super nice guy, though.
Yes, he was. Very talented, too.
Yeah.
How much ground did you and McGraw share back in the day?
McGraw was running around those same little crappy bars that I was running around in, and we kind of befriended each other early on.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time together. We chased the waitresses around.
I know. He told me stories.
We had a big time.
He told me stories back in the day.
And then Faith ran us all off. And he blamed everything on me. I'm the one that got blamed for everything. Most of it was his idea.
It's funny how he did that too.
He knows it.
Yeah, I think he did that to me too. Yeah, we don't like Tim McGraw anymore.
Happens.
Can't stand him. He's so ugly now.
Yeah.
So ugly and in shape.
He's still fat.
Only 2% though.
Yeah.
Only 2% fat.
He's all of that 2%.
I had fat Tim times. Puffy
Fat
Tim, I
Tim
guess.
times.
When he would wear the blouses, he pulled one out one time. He said, "What do you think of this?" I said, "It looks like a blouse."
Oh my God.
He said,
Everybody does it now.
Yeah. So I got it in Italy. I was like, it still looks like a blouse. Then he cut the arms off of it. So, yeah.
So when I first started here in 2005, it wasn't long after that you had done Find Out Who Your Friends Are, and you got McGraw and Chesney to get on that song. But I feel like that song, there's way more behind that song than I think people realize. And would you care to share your version of that story?
There was. I had already, everything was finished. We had tracked it, everything was done, my vocal was done on it, and I was listening to playback one night. I'm like, me and Tim and Kenny had talked about doing this together for a long time, and I thought I'd just kind of run it up the flagpole, so I sent them a copy of it, and we talked, and they're like, sure. And, I knew that that we wouldn't get single rights to it, so the whole gist of it was I put both versions on the album. I put the trio version at the end of the record as a bonus track. Opened the album up, Find Out Who Your Friends Are with mine, and then we released it and we started working it up the chart. When the album came out, radio obviously found the other version and they played it.
Yeah. And wasn't there like some issues with like Chesney getting the green light from RCA at the time? And
it was more about Brad Paisley, I think. When it really got nasty is when we were getting ready to go number one. We were kind of pushing real hard, and it went around some things and kind of screwed up some stuff going on at RCA, and they got because they weren't happy about any of it.
Yeah,
but hey,
that was cool, man. I remember I got to hear it in the office. I guess it must have been right after McGraw put his vocals on, and someone was like, "Check this out." And I was like, "Oh man, this is really cool." And then I guess you put out your version, right? And then radio wasn't too receptive of it.
No, we were going up the charts. And then the album dropped, and as soon as the album came out and they found the trio version, they just switched it.
They switched that. Okay. I can't remember things.
You're so dumb.
I'm so dumb.
And ugly.
But that was fun. That was a really cool experience.
It was. It was a really big record. Yes, it was.
Yeah, I remember it. I was there. So. Dude, I have been involved for, I think it's been 34 years now that you've done Mission Possible for the Nashville Rescue Mission, which is an absolute wonderful thing, and you're a wonderful human being for doing so. What we do is we go fry turkeys
Yes.
And this is a small part of it. But we go to the Nashville Mission. We used to go to the Mission and fry the turkeys. We've moved on to the fairgrounds now. But how many turkeys do you think you've fried over the years for the homeless?
Well, this past November, the week of Thanksgiving, we did 1,400.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But over the years, up until the last 2 years, we've done probably about 500 to 600 turkeys a year.
Yeah.
And we just officially finished up our 18th year. So you can kind of do the math on that.
That's awesome, man.
Dude,
I love that.
It's amazing. And then you have a show afterwards.
We do.
That I've played at a few times.
Yep, and it's I don't know how much longer. This might be our last year that we get to do it at the Wild Horse because Mr. Luke Combs has bought the Wild Horse.
That's right.
It's now going to
Category-
be called Category 10.
Yeah.
And Second Avenue is still completely destroyed. So they're doing a complete renovation of what was the Wild Horse. So
You know whose company did that whole branding? Category 10. Jenna's.
cool.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yep. Sure was. My significant other is the one that was behind all that stuff.
Very nice.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Look at how small world it is, Tracy. But, dude, I've been honored to be involved in that, and we'll continue to do that as long as you will have me, myself, and Chad, or well, not Chad at all. We really don't need him anymore. I mean,
It's
he's
it's
fine.
been a labor of love for a long time, and we actually I left my board meeting coming here today. We're getting ready for the golf tournament. We do a golf tournament in the spring, so this will be our fourth, I think, out at the Old Hickory Country Club.
Yeah, you invited me last year, but I wasn't. I was gone. I was out of town somewhere.
That's going to be a great weekend. So my daughter graduates from college on Friday of the weekend of May the 6th. And then Saturday, I'm headlining the Ryman Auditorium for the first time.
Oh, wow. Let's
and
go.
then Sunday is our gala, and then Monday is the golf tournament.
No,
Yeah.
if you want me to play, I'll be
I'd
there.
love for you to be there.
I'll swing them clubs, son.
What was your inspiration behind Mission Possible?
I had a family member that we had struggled with that had a lot of addiction issues and homeless, and we went through a lot. And I had run out of options in a lot of ways, and I called the rescue mission to try to get some help. And I started meeting some great people, and we talked, and it kind of got things rolling. And I just got the idea that, wouldn't it be great to give something back to the community and kind of put a different light on everything that they do down there?
Yeah.
So it was just sparked by that, and just a few guys. The first year that we did the turkey fry, I think we borrowed propane tanks from the church, had people fill their propane tanks up, and we used them. Everybody, I think we got 100 turkeys or something donated, and so we brought our own fryers and all that stuff, and just set up, and it just started like that.
That's
and
awesome.
then we started getting sponsors, and it just one thing led to another, and it just grew.
Dude, it's one of those things you never know who you're going to see down there.
No.
Frying turkeys. I mean, last year, Jamie Johnson came by, Chris Young. Is it Clint Black? Did I
Clint
see
Black
Clint
was
there
there.
last year?
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
Yeah.
Actors.
And it's awesome. So we set everything up in pits with a pit boss and a crew. So each pit will have like 12 fryers in it, and so everything's real structured and organized. That way, everybody can kind of stay on top of things. So we have like 120 fryers going on at one time, and then like 3 big vats that can do 30 or 40 at a time. So everything's under the pavilion. So when you walk in, it's like, holy moly, this is pretty freaking overwhelming.
Yeah, and you need to wear clothes you don't mind smelling like turkey.
Oh, you're gonna smell like turkeys. Oh yeah, you're gonna get some grease on you.
I put something on this year, and Jenna goes, "You're going to wear that down there?" I was like, "What? Oh, okay. I remember that now." Those vat things were amazing.
Yes.
That do so many turkeys.
Yeah.
They scare me to death, though.
Yeah.
It looks like a bomb. Waiting to go off.
Burn all the skin off your arm. Stick your hand
That's
in there.
right. So, right now, you're leaving tonight, and you're going out with Riley Green. How many dates y'all doing together?
28.
28. Wow. All over this great nation.
Yeah, Pikeville, Kentucky, Knoxville, Tennessee, Savannah, Georgia, and then where are we at next week? We got a bunch of Texas dates. It's kind of all over the place. We got some California stuff, all the way back into Colorado. So
Yeah. Pikeville, Kentucky. I know that area well. It's right next to my hometown.
yeah,
Pikeville was the town that, in the coal boom of the 80s, everybody got rich real quick. So there was a lot of spandex and gold lame purses. And
I bet that was something to see.
It was, at one point, it was the richest county in the nation.
Really,
In the
just in the
coal boom. Just because of coal.
In the 80s, you said? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
70s and 80s.
Wow.
It just blew
definitely a
up.
lot of spandex.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah, gold
people
chains.
that shouldn't be wearing it either. But Pikeville's a cool place. There's a cut through there. It's like the biggest land movement ever in the history of the world or something. It's something like that. You'll see it. It's like they moved a whole mountain. I don't know why they needed to do. I think they did it because they just wanted to
cut a
show
road
off.
or to get the coal out?
Yeah, no, to cut road through. They just moved the whole mountain. That's tunnels.
Yeah.
we're gonna cut the whole mountain down.
Why not?
Yeah.
Apparently they had the money to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else you got going on right now?
Golly.
You working on some music?
No, I cut 6 new sides last November, and the first single just dropped with a video last week. So we're just kind of moving things through. I had to get stuff to feed the machine out there with Raleigh. So,
I hear you.
And I shot a bunch of video content and stuff last week.
What's the
Just
single
getting-
called? You gotta say that.
Out Here in It.
Out Here in It.
Yep, a song written by my friend Trey Lewis.
Oh, nice.
Huh. I thought you were gonna say David Tolliver. That's fine. We've written some songs.
We need to write some more.
I'm ready.
You know, I didn't write any of these new things.
Really?
I had my 30th anniversary album a few years ago, and after that, it was like I was closing the book on this whole piece of my life. I was like done, and I just literally shut down. And I haven't been creative. It's taken me a while to get rolling again.
Yeah.
I mean, between the radio show that I do every other week, between the podcasts that I've been doing, between touring, 85, 90 dates a year. And it's just like I had to make some changes this year. I wrote for the first time 2 weeks ago the first 2 songs that I've written in over 3 years.
Really?
So I'm getting my head back in the game. Yeah.
Well, whenever you get your head back into it, you want to write with a professional songwriter.
That's good to know. So, who do you know that's professional? You know Ding Dillon?
I know Bobby Braddock.
Bobby Braddock.
God, we talked about him earlier. He's written some stuff, hasn't he?
Oh my gosh! I was at the NSA Awards and they gave Bobby the Lifetime Achievement Award.
I was there. That was amazing.
And I got to walk him out to the podium, but it was me and Garth and Blake and Toby. I got to visit with Toby that night last time I saw him before he passed away.
Dude, that guy.
Yep.
I know. Yeah, that was a rough one.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were around this business, around this town, and you knew Toby, you knew what was going on with him.
Yeah, we did. We all knew that the cancer came back in December, and they were keeping it quiet, but everybody was hoping against hope. And he was very positive, man. I chatted with him for about 10, 15 minutes, and Toby and I were real close back in the 90s. We spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
But he seemed to be very upbeat and was determined that he was going to get through, and they were booking dates for this year, and just...
Gosh, he was playing right up till the day he died, right?
Yeah.
I think
Like the
so.
night before, didn't he have a show? Or
Yeah, I think it
Did
was
he
pretty
really?
close.
Really?
I think, it was
like
close.
a day or a night or two before he died, he was still on stage performing. I was like, man, that's incredible.
Sure, it's sure hard to see people that you love go through that, and it's older you get, the more you have to deal with.
You know what? That is the thing. It also, in a way, strengthens my faith, and just it makes me appreciate every day and the friends that I still have here. Because I'm getting to that age too that I lost my father a couple of years ago, lost my stepfather a couple of weeks ago. My mom she's in her 80s, 85. It's not. I'm not a spring chicken.
No, and there are no guarantees, and the whole world's gone absolutely insane. It's freaking ridiculous.
It's like the traffic in Nashville. It's
Crazier by the
nuts.
day.
Yeah. Well, where can people find you?
I'm right here.
Yeah. Tracy Lawrence.
TracyLawrence.com. I mean, that's where everything's at. All the tour stuff, all the new. They keep updated with all the stuff that's going on. And all the social stuff. I got a great team, Gorilla PR stuff. Gorilla does all my social media stuff, so they're out there flogging that horse all the time.
Nice. I'm gonna come out to a show. I don't know when it's going to be, but I'm going to.
Please do.
I'm going to come out.
I know we got Huntsville. We got some things that are close. Some things that are really around us. So.
Yeah. Nice. I was digging on your Instagram earlier today, and I saw that you had been working in the studio and stuff, and it actually looked like the Curb Studio, if I'm not mistaken.
That's where we cut this stuff back in November. Yeah,
but
that's the first time I'd worked in there. They've done a huge remodel on the
They
place.
just
and
renovated it.
Great.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask you, because I've noticed you've been doing a lot of social stuff. trying to promote not only your shows but your new music and stuff like that. What's that like compared to how when you first started off in this whole new world of it's all about content?
You know, I'm not one of these people. I'm not ever going to be somebody that posts a bunch of stuff on a regular basis. I had to resolve to the fact that I'm just not going to do it. And that's the main reason I started the podcast for me, is that they can chop it up and get a lot of content out of it.
Gotcha.
When they need things from me, I'll go in and shoot a whole bunch of stuff at once. And other than that, I live my life. So it's not that much different than me than going on a media tour or doing stuff, because they'll schedule a couple of days. I didn't grow up with it, and I'm not comfortable doing it. And I feel like it's too intrusive into my life, and I don't want people knowing everything that I do on a daily basis.
I feel like you have a lot of content. I mean,
we do. I mean, we work at it, but I don't. You know, this new generation, man, a lot of these people post 6-10 times a day.
Yeah,
you know, and it's like that you don't have time to live a life.
I'll be in the writing room, and we'll be right in the middle of writing a song, and it's like, buddy, we're just taking videos. What are we doing here? What's happening right now? And it's TikTok. Yeah. I understand it's a necessary evil. I understand.
I had to take my TikTok off my phone, man. I'd find myself, I'd go home, get me a glass of wine, sit there, and next thing you know, 2 hours is going by, and I'm just scrolling through 30-second clips of the stupidest crap. And you find out, this got to stop. This has to stop.
It's mindless.
I just took it off my phone. It's like I can't do this.
This
is not healthy.
Too.
Well, it's not healthy.
It's the ADD that you and I are, for sure. That it helps, you know, but it's bad.
But you know what I've also found, that as I've started getting creative again, and I've had to detach from all that stuff, because it numbs your mind and stops you from thinking and pondering things. You're just kind of sitting there going, drooling out of the left side of your mouth. You know, it's like I've got to, this is not healthy for my brain. I've got to re-engage in life, and I had to back off of a lot of that mess.
No, definitely understand that completely.
Yeah.
If I have something that I need to post about, it's about a show or it's about music coming out. That's pretty much it. That's my extent.
I look at it as a marketing tool. That's really what it is. Well,
that's the thing, though. Yeah. I know who's going to go to David Tolliver Music.
No,
you know, nobody.
Nobody goes.
Nobody. For one, nobody. Asshole. For two,
you don't
tee it up if you don't want me to hit it.
I know.
Did you tell Tracy what you did with your music?
Dude.
Are they burning it out behind the church in Mount
You're going to love this.
So, I released that EP, back around COVID. It's done pretty well for nothing. I didn't have any shows to play because they shut the whole world down.
Yeah.
So, I'd been getting some spins and streams and whatnot. So, what I'd done, when I'd leave the house, I'd just leave it playing on my computer. Didn't think nothing about it. Why not? Throw me a couple extra spins in there. Put like 15 cents in my pocket. They pulled it off of Apple Music to streaming fraud. Yeah. I emailed them. I was like, what is going on? Well, we noticed some irregularities in your streaming because I had been playing it.
Excessive streaming, right?
On my computer. I didn't know this was a thing, but I guess there's only so much you can play.
Apple couldn't afford that extra $15 a year.
That's what one person, but I posted about it. I was like, this is absolutely. I emailed them. I emailed Apple, and I was like, look, I'm not a streaming farm in South Korea. I'm not a $1 billion record label. I'm just me. I was just playing my music. Just playing it on my computer.
You're a big fan of you.
I was a big fan of me.
No. Yeah.
And
Tracy's like, man, I need to go turn my computer off.
Not
for other reasons.
But it was, I was like, my God, this is ridiculous. But it's back on now. They put it back on now. So we've made up. But it's just, I was like, everybody's laughing at me. It's like, oh, really? You that's what
you listen to yourself that much?
Yeah. I told Colt.
Do you look at yourself in the picture while you're doing that too?
David loves David.
I have a lot of pictures of me around the house. Oh, it was hilarious. Well, I'm like, really? Me?
Yeah.
One dude was like, I guess that that extra $15 a month brought Spotify to its knees. Good God!
Trying to parlay it in something else.
I just like it's absolutely ridiculous. But Colt thinks it's very funny today.
I love it.
So, what are you doing this year?
Playing your golf tournament, probably playing the turkey fry,
opening up the stream farm.
Man, I tell you what, me and Chad played halfway to Hazard played a lot of shows last year.
Good.
I don't know how. It's it's amazing that we have such diehard fans that after 15 years off of one top 40 single that we've maintained somewhat of a career. But it's a testament to the fans, and we played more shows last year than we did the past 3 years before that.
Wow.
I think it's got to a place to where that we started doing what we want to do and not chasing something, and not really caring if we do it or not. And I don't. I love playing music, but my life has changed to the point now to where I just want to be happy and content.
Amen, brother.
And I don't.
And whatever that entails.
Whatever that is, I know I'll probably never, play an arena again. Maybe. I don't know. But I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I've been there. I've played those shows. I've had that fame, and fame's not the important thing anymore. Now it's boiled down to making music for myself and making music that I enjoy making and making a living doing it. I mean, we're still in the business of making money here. Let's not. I'd love to have.
The cost of living has gone up. Yeah.
Oh, God almighty. But we've been looking at houses again, and it's absolutely because we want more space.
Yeah.
And it's unreal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at $500,000 for 1,500 square foot houses. Like, I'm not doing that. That's absolutely bananas. I can't. No. I'll move back to Kentucky. The Hazard. You $500,000 in Hazard. I have a mansion and some servants. Yeah. No, I couldn't.
You'd love to have a servant.
Yeah. No, man. I'm playing a bunch of rider stuff and playing with Chad and just still making music, man. Still making music.
I hope it's going to be a good year out there. I worry about the economy. I worry about people's disposable income, and there's so much competition out there as we work around the country. It's not just country, but it's like I went and I love all kinds of music. I saw Disturbed and Falling in Reverse at the Bridgestone the other night. There's so much stuff competing for your dollar. I was seeing Monster Jam, the big trucks. I mean, and then you got all the sporting events and everything else. I mean, there's just so much stuff and everything. I mean, $300 or $400 for any kind of ticket that you want. It's crazy.
That's a bit excessive, but I think everything is so accessible these days too. I mean, even with social medias, you can get right next to somebody's living room. You can go look at John Mayer's living room, and some people, there's the diehard fans that are still going to go out and buy that hard ticket and go watch your show. Yeah, but it's a different world. But I mean, it's still sell out places. Yeah, they're still
coming.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of people. We don't know how they do it. But thank God that they do.
It's amazing.
They still want to be entertained, and people still, good music still brings the people.
Yes, it does.
Tracy Lawrence still brings the people.
It sure does. I was with one of my buddies at lunch today. I was like, "Yeah, we got Tracy coming in the podcast." He's like, "Oh my God, I would die to be in that room right now."
Is the way Tracy smells?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never smelled Tracy. If I get a little closer to him,
he
next time I'll
smells
give him a
different
whiff.
when he's awake. That's for sure.
Yeah, my wife will tell you that.
I love Becca. I don't know how she's put up with
You or me, either one. God bless her heart.
Yeah. What else you got, Coldest?
Well, I guess now it's time to spin the wheel of shame.
You want to spin the wheel of shame?
I was like, okay.
Give it a good whirl there. Do you want to give it a good whirl?
Yeah, just lean forward and give her a good old spin.
If your knees can handle it.
That's the best spin of 2024 right there.
Wow.
I mean, it's zipping.
It's not going to stop.
Big girls would.
What'd you land on?
Truth or dare?
Truth or dare?
I don't know if we had this one before.
Once.
This is the most exciting part of this podcast, by the way.
America.
And then you have to do smelling salts.
All right.
I watched Joe Rogan do that the other day.
Buddy. He got these.
Smelling salts?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the best.
It's
right.
unreal.
Here we go. Tell us about a time you lied to your parents, and did they ever find out?
Wow.
Lied to my parents. That happened a lot.
It's hard to narrow it down.
It really is. Lied to
It was a big one. You got a big one?
Okay, I was in the 4th grade. And this was I wound up writing a song called "Lessons Learned" about this. All the details were embellished in a different direction, but the real story was my mama would write me like a $2 check to carry to school every day for lunch, and I'd turn it into the teacher. Well, I decided that I wanted $5. And they kept the checkbook in the glove box of the car. Oh. And I went outside and got the checkbook, and I wrote me a check for $5 and forged mama and daddy's name to it and turned it in. Boy. Oh. And the teacher called my dad, and he came up there and got me and took me home and made me lean up against the back of the house and whip my ass. Oh, my God. I'm talking about the worst whipping that I ever had. He whipped my ass. Ooh. But I'll tell you what. I didn't steal nothing else. I mean, those are life lessons that sometimes spare not the rod. Kids need to learn these things. I mean, those are things that I think are contributing to the problems in our society now. Everybody's scared to discipline their kids. Sometimes a kid needs his ass whooped.
Pain will make you rethink things.
And make you ponder before you do it again.
Exactly. That's right. Damn. Dude, thank you.
Thank you, my friend.
For coming in here.
Always good to see you.
Dude, you're
to see you, bro.
One of my best friends in the world, and you're one of the most talented dudes that I know, and it's been an honor to share a friendship with you over the years. And you went from being a superstar in my eyes to a mentor and to a friend. So
thank you, bro.
God bless you, dude.
I'm going to have to come out to one of these turkey fries.
Please do. It's a
when
cool
is the next
experience. It will be the Tuesday week of Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's see. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Podcast.
We're available on all streaming platforms. Rate, like, subscribe.
Podcast.
Tracy, dude, thank you so much for coming on. It means a lot. Appreciate it.
See y'all.